Hey there, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play One Last Breath by Creed, which is an awesome tune and it's got a really great finger-picking riff. Now in this lesson, I'm using the Mark Tremonti SC signature model sent from the good folks at Sweetwater, who are the sponsor of today's video. Now Sweetwater are the premier online retailer for musicians with a huge selection of gear, fast shipping, and world-class customer service. And one of the coolest things is that when you buy a guitar over $399, not only does it go through their rigorous 55-point inspection, but you also get to see detailed photos of the actual guitar you're buying. And that way you can choose the unique wood grain and finish that speaks to you rather than a generic stock image. I'll leave a link in the description where you can check out this exact guitar and browse the full Sweetwater range. For the basics, you'll just need a guitar and standard tuning and you're good to go. Let's start with the intro, the main riff, which is so fun to play. Whether you're playing this on an electric or an acoustic, it will be identical. On my electric though, I am using my neck pickup to get a slightly warmer sound, and in terms of tone, I'm using a clean amp channel with a bit of reverb. In terms of our finger picking hand, Mark Tremonti plays this solely with his thumb and index finger. You could choose to use your other fingers whilst playing this, but I'm going to stick to the thumb and index just like Mark, and I'll explain why I believe he plays it like this later. So there's two lines of tab here. We're going to start with the D chord shape here, and we're going to pinch the 4th and 1st string together. So that means we're gonna simultaneously pluck the 4th and 1st strings together. Then we'll hit the 4th string by itself. And at this point, you can lift your middle finger and your pinky finger will need to stretch up to the 5th fret of the 1st string. We're gonna pluck that 1st string back to the 4th. This is all plucked at 8th notes, so 1 and 2 and like that. Now for the second half, you'll lift your pinky finger, you'll pluck the open 1st string, and hammer your middle finger back into place. Then pluck the 2nd string, and at this point you can lift your fingers off that D chord and hit the open 3rd string. So the second half. And the bar in total. Now, if you find reaching up with that pinky a little too difficult, then you can rearrange your fingers like this. Index finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd, and play it like this. Now, the trouble here though is that when you are looping this riff again and again, going from the last chord shape to this 1st chord shape is a little trickier than just going from this chord shape and pivoting and going to a D. But that is another option if reaching with your pinky finger is too difficult. For the second bar, we're gonna go to an A chord. So you'll just put your index finger across the 2nd frets of the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. Start with the open 5th string, pluck the 2nd string, then middle finger on the 3rd fret. We're gonna pluck it one more time, but then quickly hammer onto 5th fret. And the first half, 1 and 2 and pluck the root note again on the 3 beat, and then you'll pluck the 2nd string, 5th fret. We're gonna play a series of pull-offs followed by one hammer-on. So pull off to your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, pull off again to the 2nd fret, and then hammer your middle finger back on. Those first two pull-offs are fairly quick, like that. After that pull-off and hammer-on sequence, we go back to the open 5th string and the bar in total. So the bar in total. Then we'll move to a B minor chord. So just shift your index finger up. So now it's barring from the 5th string onwards on the 2nd fret. Ring and pinky fingers on the 4th frets of the 4th and 3rd string and middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd. We're gonna start by pinching the 5th and 3rd strings together, and then root note, pluck the 2nd string back to root note. So that's the first half. Then you're going to lift your middle finger, ensure that your index finger is barring across that 2nd fret of the 2nd string, pluck that, and hammer onto the 3rd fret. Then we end with 3rd string and 4th string. In the second half, and the bar in total. Then we go to a G chord shape. We're going to start by plucking the 6th string, 4th string, 3rd string, back to 4th string. That's the first half, 1 and 2 and. Then we'll go to a D sus4 shape. So keep your ring and pinky fingers where they are from the G chord. Just move your index finger to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. We're going to pluck 2nd, 3rd, 1st string, and then lift your pinky finger, go to a D chord shape and pluck that 2nd fret. So 2nd half. And the bar and total. That's it for the first line of tab, which sounds like this all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the second line of tab, we are in a D position, so we stay here. We're going to pinch the 4th and 1st strings, root note, then go up to the D sus4 with the pinky finger, pluck that 1st string, back to the root note. The first half, 1 and 2 and. For the second half, we're going to go back to a D chord, so just lift your pinky finger, pluck that 1st string, and then we're going to lift your middle finger, so D sus2 here, pluck the open 1st string and hammer on and pull off to that 2nd fret. It's a quick hammer on pull off. Now, to get the hammer on, that's easy enough. You're applying pressure into the fretboard with your middle finger at speed. But to pull off, flick your finger in a downwards motion. And that way you'll get that 3rd note ringing out nicely. But if you just lift your finger, you won't really get that 3rd note. So flick it in a downwards motion and that will get that nice pull off sound. Then we're going to pluck the 2nd string. And with your pinky finger, go to the 4th fret of the 5th string. So the 2nd half. And the bar and total. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. For our second bar, we'll go to our A chord with our index finger barred across the 2nd frets of the 4th, 3rd and 2nd string. For the first half, it's simple. It's just 5th string, 4th string, 3rd and 2nd. For the second half, we're going to pluck the 2nd fret, hammer on, and pull off onto the 3rd fret. Quickly after the hammer and pull off, go to the 3rd string, and then with your ring finger, fret the 4th fret of the 4th string, and you can lift your index finger at this point, pluck the 4th string, and then the open 3rd string. So the second half. And the bar and total. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we're going to play a B sus2. So it's the same as our B minor, except we have our middle finger lifted. We're just simply going to pluck 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd string, and then 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and then lift your chord shape and hit the open 4th string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then to a G chord shape, and we're going to pluck 6th, 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. Then 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and then 4th. So the final bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And the second line of tab in total. Okay, now the full riff in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. And at a faster speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're a beginner or even an intermediate player still finding your footing, then you should grab my free beginner guitar ebook. It walks you through the most important chords that make up 60 to 80% of popular music. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Next, we get to chorus number 1, and there's just 4 chords we need here, which is quite simple. So we're going to start with the D chord, and then we're going to an F sharp 11, which is a really nice sounding chord. It's the same as an F bar chord shape, but we're moving it up 1 fret, and then we're also removing the bar. So index finger is only fretting the 2nd fret of the 6th string. So we'll leave our 2nd and 1st strings open. Now, those 2 chords span across 2 bars of music, and the strumming pattern goes down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. And we're going to change chords where you see the highlighted strum here. So it's on that 2 beat of the 2nd bar. So down, down, up, down, up, down, down. Now, with the 2nd down strum for the D, you can actually include a hammer-on to the D sus4 as well. Like that. And then we return back to our regular D for the rest of the strums. So it's just momentarily on that D sus4 for that 2nd down strum. Then we go to B minor and G. We have the same strumming pattern. The 2nd line of chords is almost the same, except for the B minor to the G, we're altering the strumming pattern a little bit. It goes down, up, down, up, down. So we're changing on that 4 beat there. And chorus 1 in total. Then we get to verse number 2. Now, at the very end of verse number 2, I'm going to teach you a few things that you can do if you're playing this on the electric guitar. Now, what Mark Tremonti does is when he gets to the heavier parts, he actually uses a guitar pick. So he keeps his pick in between his middle finger here, and that way he only has his thumb and index finger to pluck. So I believe this is part of the reason why he plucks the main riff like that. Otherwise, you could use more than your thumb and index to pick that main riff. But with pick in hand, it's just thumb and index. When we get to the 2nd last bar, the B sus, I'm going to pluck the 5th string and then get my pick into position. So with it in the middle finger, I can just then grab it and put it into place. And then I'm going to strum a up, down, down, up, and then go to the G. So the last 2 bars here, just before the 2nd chorus. And when we strum the G, this allows us time to then switch our pickup to the bridge pickup, because if we're changing to distortion, it sounds a lot better using the bridge pickup. So just the last 2 bars there. And then we get into chorus number 2. So I'm shifting over to a distorted tone. I'm using a lead amp channel here. Got a little bit of reverb. So it's an amp channel that has high gain. We're going to start with the D over A. Now, what I'm doing is I'm playing a D chord, but I'm not really fretting down the 1st string here. I'm just focusing on the 3rd and 2nd strings. And I'm letting the open A string ring out as well. You don't want the open 6th string ringing out, and I mute that by just touching with my thumb, reaching over the top. So that's our D over A, and then we go to F sharp 5. So it's the same as that F sharp 11, but we're just focusing on the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings. You want the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings to be muted. You can do that by lightly touching those strings with your index finger as it reaches over the top to fret the 6th string. The strumming pattern is similar to the first chorus with 1 minor change, so it's down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So D over A to the F sharp 5. Then we're going to play a B5, and you could make this a B5 over F sharp if you wanted to, which sounds really thick. So it's the same as a B5 power chord, but we actually move our index finger so it's barring across the 2nd frets of the 6th and 5th string. And you want the 1st and 2nd strings muted. And then to the G. Same strumming pattern there. For the 2nd line of chords, it's almost the same except for the B5 to the G5. The strumming pattern differs. It goes down, down, So those first two lines of chords are repeated through twice, and then we have B5 to G5 again twice. So we're just playing through twice. So that's it for chorus 2. I'll just play the first two lines of chords through once, but when you actually play it, those first two lines of chords are repeated. Okay, next we get to the bridge. There's two lines of chords here. We're going to start with an E5 chord. So just put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. So focus on the 6th and 5th strings. Everything else will be muted. So again, just use your index finger to lightly touch everything else. And E sus2, so put your ring finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string. Then we get to a G chord. It's the same as our F chord bar, but up 2 frets, and we're just focusing up to the 3rd string. 1st, 2nd strings will be muted. Now, for those first two chords, the E5 to the E sus2, it's going to go down, down, down. Then we go to the G, it's down, down, down. And then we'll quickly change to the D over A, and that'll be played with a down, down, down. Just follow along, but the first line of chords. Then for the second line of chords, it's an A5, so just index finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. We're focusing on the 5th and 4th strings. Everything else is muted. We're going to play that A5 with a down, down, and then B5 for the down, down, and then change to the G with a down. That's it for the bridge, which sounds like this. And those two lines of chord are just repeated. Then we get to the quiet chorus. So we're going to shift back to our neck pickup. It's almost the same as chorus 1, except for the B minor to G at the end. It's down, down, up, down, down. Then there's chorus number 3, which is almost the same as chorus number 2, just we leave out the 3rd line of chords there. Then there's the outro, which is just the first line of tab for the main riff, basically. With the final G, we'll play 6th, 4th, 3rd, 4th, and then 1st and 2nd. So the outro. Now, if you want to play this on the acoustic, then it's pretty much identical to the electric version, except I would say in the choruses, instead of playing the power chords, you could play the full chord just so you have more strings ringing out. So, for example, D over A to F sharp 11 instead of the F sharp 5, and then B minor to the full G chord like that. If you want to see an acoustic playthrough, then I will add that into the end of this lesson as well. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of this song on the Mark Tremonti SC signature model sent from the good folks at Sweetwater. Again, if you want to find out more about this guitar, I'll leave a link to it in the description. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
on all of my mistakes. Thought I found the road to somewhere in His grace. I cried out, heaven save me, but I'm down to one last breath. And with it, let me say, hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. Hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. I'm so far down. Sad eyes follow me, but I still believe there's something left for me. So please come stay with me, 'cause I still believe there's something left for you and me, for you and me. Oh, now I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking, hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. Hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. Please come now. I think I'm falling. I'm holding on to all I think is safe.
Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here. Or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitarzerotohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.